Hey guys, it's Brad with Easy Tips and Tutorials, and today I am going to be showing you how to set up a basic table on Google Spreadsheets. So let's say we want to set up a lemonade stand and we want to find out what the total startup cost is going to be and the materials that we're going to need in order to have a successful lemonade stand. So let's start listing out the supplies that we're going to need. We're going to click on basically any cell. We're going to double click on it and start listing some supplies one at a time. So we're going to need a table, and then we're going to click on the cell right below it, and we're going to list another thing that we're going to need. We need some cups. Click below it. We need a pitcher. We need a sign. We need the lemonade, ice, and a cooler. I think that's enough for now. That's all I can think of. So we have the materials that we're going to need to start the lemonade stand. Now let's label this group. We're going to go to the top. We're going to double click here, and this is going to be materials. Let's label it materials. Okay. All these materials have a cost, so we're going to go to the right of materials, double click on the cell, and label this cost. Okay, so let's go down and let's right next to the table, let's say the table is going to cost 20. It's going to be $5 for the cups, $5 for the pitcher. We go to Michael's and make a nice sign, 10 bucks. 25 bucks in lemonade, $3 in ice. We get a $20 cooler. So now you can kind of see we have a table forming, but we want to kind of make it more pretty. So what we're going to do is we are going to click on the title of each column. I'm going to click the mouse and I'm going to drag it over while I'm holding down the mouse button. So I highlight these two and we're going to center it. We're going to go up here and you see it's left aligned. We want to center it. So now it's kind of centered up over the columns. It just looks a little neater. And you know what? Let's also click on the top left of the table, and while you're holding the mouse down, drag and highlight everything in here, and we're going to outline this whole table. And what we want to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to look for this right here. It's borders. We're going to click on that, and there's all these different borders that you can add to it. If you look like this one, it'll outline every single line in the highlighted area. But for starters, what we want to do is just outline the outside lines. So the outer borders. Let's click on the outer borders. And you see we have a thin line going around it. I'd like it to be a little bit thicker to stand out a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to border style right here and click on that, and we're going to make it let's go with this one. This is a nice thick border. Boom. Okay, I starting to shape up, but I kind of want the titles to stand out more from everything else. So I'm going to highlight the titles again by clicking and dragging and holding the mouse. I'm going to go back up here to borders, and now I'm going to use all borders. I'm going to click on that, and I have it on the third thickness, and that's okay with me. So I'm going to click on that. Boom. Okay. So now I kind of like how everything, I kind of like having stuff centered in my tables. So I'm going to click on this cell, and I'm going to drag and highlight everything in it. And let's just center everything. Okay. I like that. I'm not sure if I like the way this looks. So let's click on this, drag it down. Let's see how it looks with it left aligned. I kind of like that better. Now, I want some more division in between these two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight right here all these columns. I'm going to go back to the borders, and you can see all these different options. I want to highlight right here, or make a border a little bit more defined right on this line. So if I go up here and I look, I can see that this is the right border, and that's the border that I want to highlight. So I'm going to click on that. Now, the thickness is the third thickest one. I don't know if I want it that thick for this one, so I'm going to press the second one. We'll see how that looks. Okay. Looks pretty good. So cost, all these numbers right now are, a dollar amount. So what I want to do is change these cells into currency, so it shows that it's money. So I'm going to highlight these numbers, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to look for format as currency. It's a little dollar sign up here, and I'm going to click on that, and boom, it changes everything to a currency. The one thing that I would like to change is, you see that it has the cents in there as well, and let's say everything is rounded up. I don't want to have 25 cents, 33 cents, or everything's zero, so there's no point in really having cents. I just want a general number. So what I'm going to do is highlight this again. Anytime I want to change something, I want to make sure that I've highlighted all these numbers. I'm going to come up here, and you see these decimals. I can increase the decimal place or decrease the decimal place. I want to take away the decimals, so I'm going to click that once. That takes away one of the zeros, and I'm going to click it again. It takes away both of them. So now I just have the nice, neat numbers with dollar signs. So shaping up, I want to get my total startup cost, so I know how much this is all going to cost. Now I could take a calculator out and add this up, but there's an easier way to do it, and that's to use a formula. So we're going to go down to the bottom of this, and we're going to type in a startup cost. Okay, we're labeling this right here, and in this cell we're going to enter in a formula. It's going to be the sum. We want to add up all these numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click. I'm going to make sure that the cursor is blinking. We're going to enter in an equal sign, and then we're going to type in sum. Now all these are formulas, but we just want to find the sum. sum of a series of numbers in our cells. So we're going to click on that. It's going to have a parentheses, and the computer is going to be asking what you want to add up, and we want to tell the computer that. So we're going to come up here with our cursor, and we're going to highlight all the numbers we want the computer to add up. So we're going to click the mouse and hold it down and drag it all the way down to the bottom. And when we get to the bottom, we're going to release the mouse. And it should have it all highlighted, and you should see the cells, the cell range at the bottom, D6 through D12. So I double check that. That looks right. I'm going to add a parentheses to close off the formula. Then I'm going to press enter. And the total startup cost is $88. So let's make this part of the graph. First, let's center this because everything else is centered. It would look better if it's centered. So I'm going to click on the cell. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to center it. Now this is kind of just hanging out below the table, and we want it to be part of the table. But we also want to separate it from the materials because the startup cost is not a material. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight it, highlight these two cells by clicking the cell, holding the mouse, dragging it over, and then releasing the mouse. We're going to go up to borders, and we're going to click all borders. Okay? And we're going to go to the third thickness. So it kind of separates this bottom part from, the materials and everything. Now, to make it look a little bit nicer, what we can do is we can come up here and add a background color to the title, or to these two cells. So what we're going to do is highlight it. We're going to click fill color, and let's make it green, light green. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for the startup cost. Okay, we're going to highlight that, and we're going to make it light green. Okay, and let's highlight this as well. Click on the little paint bucket, and let's make this, sometimes it's good to make it gray, light gray. Okay, so this is our table, and what we want to do is we want to label what this is. What this is for, I kind of want a title for it. So what I'm going to do is at the top here, I'm going to click on the cell right above materials. I'm going to hold the cursor, I'm going to drag it across, okay, and I'm going to highlight both these cells above the table. And I'm going to come up here, and I want to make this one cell so I can put a title over top of this whole table. I'm going to go to Format. I'm going to go down to Merge Cells, and I'm going to say Merge All. And you see now, after I did that, this is one cell. Okay? And I'm going to click on it, double click on it, and let's call it Lemonade Stand. Okay. Now, we need to make it part of the table and make sure it stands out. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it again, and let's center it. Okay. You know what? We can also bold it because it's the title. So let's highlight the text. We're going to come up here. Let's put a bold on it so it stands out Okay. And we also want, let's click over here so we can see what we got. Lemonade stand. We also want maybe a background color. And since it's a title, we can make it a different one. So let's see what yellow looks like. Okay, that looks good. The only thing we're missing is the border. So we're going to click on it again. We're going to click on the borders, and we're going to click on the outer borders because this one doesn't even have one in the middle. Click on the outer borders, and we're going to make it the third thickness. Okay, so I'm looking at it. It looks good to me. You know, you can edit it however you think is best. I'm looking at it and I see that this is a thick line. It goes to the second thickness and then it goes back to a thick line. Let's see if we can make this line the same thickness and see if that'll look better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this cell. I'm going to go to borders. And since I just want to edit this right side, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to find the right border. And I'm going to click on that. And I need to tell the computer what border style or the thickness that I want. Right now it's the third thickness. Let's put it to the second thickness. And then I click on another cell. I like that, the way that looks better. So I'm going to do the same thing down here. And say instead of clicking on this cell, I click on this cell. Now I want to edit this line. So instead of it being on the right side, it's actually on the left border. So I'm going to come up here. I'm not going to click the right border. I want to do the left border. I'm going to tell the computer I want the second thickness. So click on that, and that's how you make a basic table. Now, say I wanted to change a price. Say the table was actually going to cost $30. You can see at the bottom the startup cost is $88, but since we entered in that formula and I press enter, it's going to automatically update what the startup cost is going to be because it's just going to be adding up the numbers in this column. Okay. So guys, this is how you make a basic table in Google Spreadsheets. I hope that helped you out. If you have any comments or anything that I missed, please leave it down below. Give the video a like and stay tuned for more easy tips and tutorials. See you next time.